minutes, okay?
Okay. Hi, Dr. Katz. How are you?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. So I think now we can start the meeting, and I'm calling this meeting to order. And the first item is the adoption of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any seconds?
Second.
Okay. Everybody say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? No? Okay, so the minutes are adopted. Thank you. So the first thing that we have is the Senior Vice President report. Christine?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, Chair Piñamora. It's good to be back here in person. I sit here vaccinated and filled with hope for our facility heroes and our team for this coming year. While today we have only one capital energy related resolution, our team has been finalizing contracts with supply chain, issuing task orders for our new bond work, and our office continues to support the ongoing COVID emergency management efforts to support all of our facilities handling the second surge. We are looking forward to opening our COVID Center of Excellence in Queens this month, with Brooklyn anticipated in the coming months as well. Our emergency physical enhancements for our surge spaces in our hospitals are 95% completed and are already being used in enhancing our care environment for our COVID positive patients. It's been wonderful to tour Lincoln Hospital and Coney Island Hospital and really see these enhancements in real time and see the additional efforts that has helped our providers in providing excellent care to our patients. We are incredibly grateful to receive over $300 million of additional city capital dollars during our January plan to support our aging facilities. We are revamping our capital intake process and will be allocating those dollars towards carbon reduction, energy investments similar to today's resolution, as well as critical state of good repair infrastructure needs and improving our care environment in alignment with our strategic pillars. We additionally received over $60 million in DCAS energy funds for critical projects at Harlem, NCB, and Bellevue in the recent weeks. We are incredibly excited to be able to address those needs at those facilities while also saving our facilities precious expense dollars on energy. Our housing team over the past year has identified a pipeline of 700 units of affordable supportive housing, and we are working closely right now with Metro Plus on the rent up of our T building at the Queens Hospital campus. While there are many ongoing projects I could continue to talk about, I'd like to focus now on the resolution and to take questions from any members of the committee.
Thank you, Christine, for your report. I think, Sophia, you want to say something? I think you are muted.
Yes, I don't know why I keep on getting muted. I just need the identity of the speaker that just finished the statement.
Christine Flaherty, Senior Vice President, Health and Hospitals.
Thank you.
So, Christine, I think maybe if there is any question about Christine's report, no? So again, Christine, thank you. We are incredibly impressed with all the work that you and your team has been doing, and of course, all the kind of the sibling groups in health and hospital like law and HR and everybody, and supporting you and ensuring that all the hospitals and all the clinics have what they need, and particularly now for the vaccination effort, all that you have been doing to ensure that we have the facilities in which they can take place. We have received several wonderful emails from grateful patients about the process, the facilities, the people that are there going to get the vaccination. So thank you so much to your team and to you for your leadership and making all this happen for all New Yorkers. So thank you. So I think if there is no other questions, we can maybe start with the resolution.
Great, thank you so much. It's really been an amazing effort with the whole team and our partners like Danielle and our facility leadership, all our CEOs. Okay, so this resolution is, I think we're putting the PowerPoint up.
Yes.
This is the resolution requesting authorizing the New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation, the system, to execute a customer installation commitment, CIC, with the New York City Department of Citywide Administrative Services and the New York Power Authority for an amount not to exceed $8,212,020, including a 10% contingency of $597,318 for the planning, design, procurement, construction management, and project management services necessary for energy efficiency upgrades, the project at NYC Health and Hospitals, Queens, the facility. And so this is a project. We could go to the next slide. I'm here with Oscar Gonzalez, AVP of our Capital Development Group. The project background here is that we've identified, our energy team has identified a large number of energy efficiencies that can occur at Queens Hospital. And these projects represent a program that addresses several measures that would be included in this capital program, including grading the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems, which have all exceeded their useful lives, as well as enhancing with boiler controls, chiller optimizations for controls in the main building, replacing 4 existing exterior pole-mounted wind solar hybrid lights, as well as replacing 223 windows on 6 floors of our N building. We also have identified pipe insulation that needs to be addressed, over 2,000 feet of pipe insulation, and installing heat pump hot water heaters for our N building to cover domestic hot water for this facility. This just shows you a picture of the N building, which will have a large portion of the work. The next slide will also show you the various elements of systems that would be enhanced with energy improvements and replaced in the instance of the actual windows of the building N. In this specific project, we have multiple sources of capital funding. DCAS is contributing through their One NYC capital portfolio over $5.9 million. We have a city capital match funding from Health and Hospitals for $2.2 million, representing a total funding of $8,212,020. The savings after these projects are completed is listed here as annual savings, which will save our system $386,927 annually, as well as savings consumption savings on both electrical and natural gas, while also working to reduce our carbon footprint. Now, next slide. This project would be executed through our Encore 3 agreement, which was executed, and DCAS led negotiations for this Encore 3, so we are no longer using the bridge agreement. This includes organizations such as H&H, CUNY, DCAS, as well as Board of Ed. This agreement went into effect on January 1st of 2021. Next. Okay, good. In this case, this project was followed through NYPA's procurement path. They fully bid out the project through the design, build, delivery method that has really helped us tremendously expedite these projects. NYPA selected Guth DeCunzo Construction Management to be the construction manager for this project. Their services were acquired through a competitive bidding process. Guth DeCunzo has received an 85% approval rating based on an evaluation of 234 historical projects delivered by NYPA. Their evaluation criteria included performance on feasibility study, design, installation, and construction management, and they are the most cost-effective construction manager on NYPA's list. Gutacunzo for this project oversaw a bidding process in compliance with NYPA's procurement guidelines. And the subcontractors for this project are listed on the slides: Interstate Mechanical, Automated Logic, Able, I'm having a hard time, Candela System Corporation, and Whitestone Construction. NYPA also has an active MWBE program through this, having a 30% goal which also satisfies our goals. And while this project is currently at 15% MWBE utilization, it's expected to increase to 71% pending MWBE certification, which is being pursued with Whitestone Construction. The next slide shows you all of the main contractors I indicated in the prior slide, as well as the subcontractors and suppliers that are identified for the current MWBE utilization plan, which has a 15% commitment right now. However, Whitestone Construction, who is self-performing a large portion of the program, they are the exterior envelope window replacement contractor. They're pursuing their WBE certification, and should that certification be approved, that will move this program to be at a 71% MWBE participation plan. This is against a contract award amount of over 5.7 million, with the current MWBE rate at the 865,000. And all projects are expected to be completed by December of 2022. This slide shows you the total project budget, inclusive of all soft costs, contingencies, and ancillary services that need to be provided to deliver the project as per the Encore agreement. And so this shows you the spend in the 9 areas of budget, with a total of $8.2 million. And now this concludes our presentation of the resolution. We're happy to take any questions from any members of our capital committee.
Thank you, Christine. I would like to go over each one of the members to see if they have any question. I will start with Sally. Do you have any questions, Sally?
Yeah, I actually have 2 questions. The first one is a little odd, I think. I think I'm used to seeing usually more, I don't want to say dire capital needs, but and I know this is all beyond their useful life, so they're they're older project needs. But I was wondering, is that the case, or am I just looking at it superficially and not seeing the magnitude of the needs here?
So in this case, we've identified a number of characteristics that need enhancements and replacements. This is all being driven by our assessments. We do energy assessments across all of our facilities. And so these were the highest, best projects for Queens for both energy savings as well as replacements. And so in some cases, we already have the big equipment there, but we might not have the controls needed so that we can further enhance and calibrate our systems. Or we've identified elements of the distribution system that requires further insulation so that we can be even more efficient with the systems that are there. So this is definitely a unique program for a presentation in that it's covering a large number of various things, but all with the goal of reducing our usage of carbon and saving energy and enhancing all of our systems, as well as encapsulating one of our buildings where the windows are having an impact to our space.
And my second question is is the 12% NYPA fee a fixed fee? Is that the amount they usually charge?
Yes, that's correct. So that's a fixed fee, which incorporates their kind of program management of the project itself and what it takes to kind of line it up for it to be at the point that it's ready for this level of execution.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Oh,
Benny, were you calling on people? We can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was muted, I didn't notice. Yes, I was asking if, thank you, Sally, and I was wondering if Frida has any question.
I do, thank you, and thanks, Christine. I think this is great that we're doing this, taking advantage of projects we have to do and improving the efficiency in our carbon footprint. And I'm glad to see the dollars quantified here on the savings. Do you have, in general, sort of are you keeping track of our energy footprint and carbon footprint and savings that we've been realizing or at least implementing? Is that something that you're kind of tracking?
Yes, so our energy team is tracking diligently our carbon reduction since the local law was passed some years ago, local law 86. Sorry, offhand, I don't remember the exact number of our local law. And I believe Marcus from our energy team is on. I'm happy to give a follow-on report out about our carbon reduction. As of last fiscal year, we were at a 32% reduction, having achieved over the course of many years, and we're continuing to push as hard as we can to meet the goals of the carbon reduction requirements. We also do track and can share some energy savings information. There's a number of different programs, some having to do with projects like this where we're implementing physical improvements that drive savings on our utility bills. There's also a demand response program, which has to do with our operations team reducing their utilization of certain energy during peak periods of heating or cooling, which is a program we work with Con Ed on and results in a check back to us if we really comply with the demand response program. So this is an area that our team is incredibly focused on, and we do every year we kind of look back and look at both our savings on the utility bills as well as savings having to do with behavior patterns of our facilities supporting us throughout the program. And what we have started, I'd say, in the last 6 to 8 months with Dr. Katz's blessing is facilities that have been able to do a great job on the demand response side. The savings we're actually reinvesting at those facilities on additional energy enhancements because sometimes certain projects get missed or we just can't fund them at the time, but it allows us to incentivize our facilities to participate in that.
That's terrific. I would be interested in seeing a report on that at some point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frida.
Thank you, Frida. Dr. Katz, do you have any questions?
No, I just think that this is a great area for us to work on, right? Because of the double gain. We make the world a better place by decreasing our carbon footprint, and we save money at the same time. And so I'm very excited about these kinds of projects.
Thank you, Dr. Katz. I have a couple of questions, Christine. If you go back to the total cost as well as the savings, the return on the investment is around 21 years. Is that what is expected, or do we think that there are other savings that may reduce that payback period?
No, that is what is expected.
Okay. So do we, for all these investments, the facilities and the, the windows definitely, but in terms of the kind of the HVAC equipment, all that, what is the life expectancy or the life, the useful life of those equipment? What is calculated to be now?
So you're asking the useful life of the new controls that are going in place, or the equipment that's affiliated with those enhancements?
I think both.
Okay, so that's not information I have in front of me, but I can follow up with you if that's okay on what the useful lives. I mean, in all cases, all of the work has to minimally be 5 years by city capital rules, but
Yes.
this is much longer than 5 years. So I just don't want to misstate something for the record, and I'm happy to follow up in writing so that you have the answer to that question.
Thank you. That I appreciate it. Thank you. Again, I just want to try to understand the useful life of the, particularly the mechanical systems with respect to the payback period. If there may be any reinvestment that may be needed because the mechanical system may have different useful life. That's just a thought. So yeah, you can follow up. The other one, when you present the program manager or the project manager for NYPA, you mentioned something that they are the most cost-effective CM. Can you elaborate what does that mean?
So NYPA has a fee per stage. They have a group of 10 to 12 construction management providers, and the fees are based on a percentage per phase. And Guth de Kunzo has the most cost-effective delivery per phase. I recognize that this is the third resolution we brought with Guth de Kunzo as the selected construction manager. And I have reached out to our leader at NYPA, who's my counterpart, and we're going to be following up with them just to ensure capacity is there moving forward for future projects. Clearly, this firm has done great work and is well respected, and we feel confident in their ability to deliver here, but we do want to make sure capacity is not strained. And so that's follow-on work that our office plans to do.
Thank you. And I think particularly as you alluded to in your introductory remarks, this is an area that maybe we're going to be focusing more investment in order to improve our energy efficiency. And as Dr. Katz mentioned, it's kind of doing the right thing, doing it the right way. So it would be good to understand a little bit more of that procurement process to ensure that the projects are kind of follow up through as we will expect. My third question is if we go to the budget. There are actually two-part question here. First one is the number 9, the interest during construction. Are we borrowing money to conduct this project? Because it seems that everything is coming from DCAS and the capital city planning, capital projects.
So what happens is that NYPA initiates the work in advance of us having all of the funding in place. And so they actually front the funding, and as phases are completed, so they're floating some of this capital as we're wrapping it up. I'm saying it in a very lay person, non-finance way, but that is what the interest during construction ties to. We can follow up with kind of more clear details, but yes, it does go through the capital CP process, but because we are not holding the paper, we instead reimburse NYPA at different moments in time. That is where the interest during construction is here.
Okay, but in theory, if we are able to have the funding allocated and don't incur those charges, we may be able to save. I think you mentioned in one of the comments, I think responding to either Frida or to Sally, that any savings that may occur from this project usually gets invested back into the facility. So is there potential to reduce these interest charges if we have the funding? Because I'm not understanding, if we already have the funding allocated, if there is a matter of timing and procurement that we incur on these interests. It's significant in today's financial markets to pay 3% interest on the construction costs. We're talking about out of $5 million. So that's what I'm trying to understand. If there is any way that we can look at our procurement, our reimbursement, and financial transaction to reduce those fees.
So I think we can explore that through conversations with NYPA. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to commit. Absolutely, we can do that, but you're raising a really good point. And I think that we will look to engage NYPA in that discussion, as well as our finance team, to better see if there's some opportunities here to reduce the total project budget.
Okay, and that kind of connects to number 8. We have 12, here presented 12% project management fee for this. How is that in line with all other projects that you have? Is this kind of the norm for this type of projects, or is a little bit outside?
So it's the norm within the Encore agreements. They all have a project management fee. This is another area that we are exploring and working with NYPA and DCAS on. That's, a combination of NYPA employees that participate in the project, but they also have, I believe, program management types of organizations that support them. So that is the norm, and that's the required fee within the Encore agreement.
Okay, but this is a little bit different of what your normal projects that are led by you. Is that correct? By your team?
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay, thank you. I think that's all my questions. I just wanted to ask if anybody else in the board or the committee has any question. Hearing none, I would like to call a motion to approve the resolution for submission to the whole board.
So moved.
Okay, any seconds?
Second.
Thank you. I will now like to call each one of the members for the vote. Sally?
Yes.
Frida?
Yes.
Okay, I also vote yes. So I think the resolution passes. Thank you, Christine. Is there
Thank
any?
you.
I know that this is the only resolution that we have today, but I don't know if there is any new business that we should be considering.
Mr. Chairman, I had a broader question, which
Yes.
isn't going to be answered in this setting, but when I guess about 2 years ago, when Christine first came in, we were looking at the whole question of how best to sort out the different construction projects that were before us, kind of create a pipeline based on specific metrics and things. And at some point, I would like, I'm sure it's not finished, but at some point, I would like an update on how we've tackled the problem.
Thank you, Sally. And I think definitely this is a conversation that we had. And if I recall correctly, Colicia and Christine may be able to elaborate. We had a scheduled an educational session in which Christine was going to present their capital program kind of strategy, processes, as well as trying to give us a little bit more insight on the selection of the capital budget as it is put forward for OMB. But I believe that due to COVID, that information session or educational session was postponed. But I think, well, now we are in a different phase of COVID. If we look at both the testing and the vaccination, but I don't know, Christine and Colicia, if you think that there is a possibility to share with us and to look back to that educational session to follow up on Sally's comments.
So yeah, I do look forward to being able to settle and provide that educational session. We are excited. We have a new senior director of design who started recently. We also are in the process of revamping our energy and carbon reduction team. And we are all surge. So I would request respectfully some time before we could do this session, just in that we are a little busy with the current work happening. But we would be happy to do an educational session. I think it would be incredibly appropriate. So I'm not sure, I don't have a, I need more time than like, I'm not ready, like.
No.
Immediate.
I mean, I think even if it's a couple of months from now, whenever it's convenient, I didn't have a time frame in mind.
Yeah. So in that case, Christine, maybe we definitely understand the situation that you are in and your team in responding to the crisis that we are attending to. Just maybe look at a little bit with Colicia into the future if there is any possibility, and of course, if things make it difficult, we understand and we can postpone as we have done before. But Sally, if there is any particular question that you have that maybe Christine can answer before that educational session, I think maybe you can put it forward.
I think, Fenny, it's that I think it's like seeing the projects through a prism. Right now, I'm seeing them as they come in sort of ad hoc. And it's not a critical time urgent need, but it would be useful to know, to have a better lens through which to look at the projects that are being put forward.
Yeah, I think, thank you, Sally. I think that was the original discussion that we had and why we requested that educational session, because we wanted to understand more of the capital project planning and the pipeline and how the different hospitals, the different units request capital projects, how are they prioritized, how they are presented to OMB, and how is being funding allocated at the end. So I think that's consistent with that. So Christine, whenever you feel that may be appropriate time-wise based on your constraints, I think that may be good to plan.
Okay, I think that, right now we're actually in that phase of replanning and forecasting out the new dollars that we've received in addition to the bond dollars. And we also know our ongoing requests for needs. So I think I would say in about 2 to 3 months, we'd be in a place where we'd be able to do kind of the broader overview of what we have funding for, what we're positioning for, if we don't have funding. And I think if you would allow us a few months, I think that will give us enough time to give that overview. So you're not seeing it just in the prism of this one project, but you can understand what's happening and underway. There's also much work that's already funded and started and underway at our facilities as well. And because of the scale, you're not seeing it at a board meeting. But so I think we'll put our heads together and pull together a session for, the spring at some point.
Okay, thank you. I don't know, Frida?
Yeah, and Christine, that's really helpful, and appreciate all the stuff that you guys are doing. So thank you. It's somewhat related is and I think you've mentioned this before with the infrastructure bill is hopefully gaining some steam here, and we'll see something not in the not too distant future. Have you had any further kind of color or updates on where it might be going from the healthcare facility side?
I know that we were incredibly excited about the FEMA match that was already agreed upon. So that was very helpful for us, and we're working closely with finance as well as Deb Brown's office on advocacy. Offhand, I don't know where we are on the advocacy front, but we had provided some talking points around healthcare infrastructure investments and the dire need of that. And so I think we can round back on that because I know
Okay.
that we have landed in talking points around that topic.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any old business that we need to attend to? Codicia, are we okay? Is there any other issue that we should be looking at?
No, we okay to adjourn.
Okay, so with that, I would like to adjourn the this meeting. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all your work, Steve, and thank you, everybody, for your participation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Hello, Kalisha?
Whipping them.
Hello?
Yeah. Capital committees, you know, before you get any project approved, you gotta go in front of them.
Yes, I'm here.
Can I just get your name? I don't see your name on the list.